Hello, everyone. Hey guys, so we are going to get started in a minute. I am waiting for Amber to log on, and then we're going to get started. Excited to give y'all an additional little training on top of what we discussed last night, which was so good. Last night was incredible. Good morning, you guys. All right. Text Amber. Okay, there's Amber. Heidi ho, Justin Cox.
Well, hello.
Turn your volume up.
Okay. Can you hear me?
It's really low for some reason. I don't know why.
Probably because it realizes I'm trying to get out of Facebook jail.
It's literally like you're whispering. Do I sound loud?
Yeah, you sound loud. Is that better?
Turn your silence off on your phone. See if that works.
It's not on.
Oh no. Can you guys hear her? Those that are on, if y'all can hear her, we'll get started.
Everyone can hear me fine. Cool.
Good. It's okay. Maybe it's just me. Yay. Okay. I'm super pumped about this, y'all. We are going to take the next like 10 to 15 minutes to talk about leadership IPAs. And if there's anyone who knows how to really hit IPAs hard in leadership, it's Amber. Because obviously, Amber, you know, and I would love for you to share just a tiny bit before we get started what the game changer was when you started focusing on leadership IPAs. So we're going to not talking about any of the personal business stuff, but what did you really start doing in your leadership that changed the game for building directors and building frontline lead stars and superstars? What were some things that you started doing pretty quickly where you saw, you know, immediate results, I guess, I want to ask you?
So my biggest game changer was when I literally, and this is going to sound so redundant, I cut the fluff out and I started working on the things that mattered. The things that matter in leadership are when you are truly identifying the people who need to be worked with. The people who are, you know, feelings aside, this is a business. And you're looking and you're focused on the people who are doing the things that matter in a successful business. Whether, you know, they have high PRV, they are recruiting, they are, you know, having active frontline, you are drilling into that report. And that's what's really important. And that's what really changed the game for me, is when I started identifying those people and really and truly working one-on-one with them, creating relationships with them and helping them get to the next level. Yeah, no, that is key. And you guys, a lot of y'all on this page are new star consultants or new lead consultants or new star consultants. And so really what we want to do with you guys, like Amber said, what stuck out to me is she was started working with the right people. A lot of leaders want to lead everyone the exact same way. And what we're going to talk about with you guys today is how to identify the unicorns, how to identify the hustlers, the believers, the ones that want to do a bit more. Because leadership isn't about, okay, everybody joins Cincy and everybody's the same. No, you're going to have some people that don't want to run it like a business, that want to run it like a hobby. And you need those. You need the 200s. But the 200s are not going to get you paid, okay? The leadership and digging into, and I don't want you guys to hear this and think, oh, all we do is work with people that produce. No, what we're saying is we give resources to everybody, but the one-on-ones and the identifying leaders, guys, you can't work with someone the same that sells $4,000 and then somebody that sells $59 a month and just keeps saying that they don't know how to sell, right, Amber? Right.
Yeah. So we're going to get right into it. Do you want to go ahead and start, Amber? And you can kind of hit 1 and 2, and then I'll do 3 and 4, and we'll go back and forth.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Okay, so the biggest thing, and I know if you guys were on the call last night, some of this is going to sound redundant. If you hear me and Chloe talk a lot, it's going to sound redundant. But it's because it's really important is why we keep hitting on it so hard. And we really want you guys to take what took us 4 and 5 years to figure out in our own business and run with it. Serena is a perfect example. Serena, I know you're on here. When you take and run with this information and these resources and you make it your own, there's something magical that happens and you will be blessed 10 times over. Last night we talked a lot about blooming. The harvest season has to happen in order for the big boom to happen in your business. So if you're in the harvest season right now, a lot of you guys probably are. We all are. The spring is really a harvest season. Hang tight with it, but please, please, please listen to what we're sharing with you guys, because we don't share it just to share it and hear ourselves talk. You see how both of us look right now. Chloe came to me 20 minutes ago and was like, hey, can you help me with this? And here I am. I'm in Facebook jail, and now I'm on Justin's, Facebook to go live with you guys. So first, once you hit a star consultant leadership level, you need to have your own team page on Facebook.
Yes.
I don't care if you are talking to nobody. I had my own, I think when I hit lead back in 2016, I can't even remember. I'm coming up on 6 years now. But the importance in that, and I know it's frustrating to feel like you're sharing information to nobody, or they're in your director's page and, they get double dose of information. It doesn't matter. What helps with that is you learning to be a leader. You learning to do the things that the successful people do as leadership and figuring out how to be a leader yourself. It's really, really, really important for you guys to have that practice, because it only gets more challenging as a leader the higher you promote. The bigger your team gets, the bigger your group gets, the more challenging it gets. So I highly recommend, even as a lead. I mean, I really think I was a lead when I created mine. But definitely as a star consultant, create your own team page, create your own culture, create those relationships with your people, because when you hit director, it's going to be too late to start that culture. Okay. So number one, identifying leaders by using and saving reports. Okay. So what do I mean by that? We talk about that all the time, right? What I mean by that is that when I started this with intentionally identifying leaders and intentionally working with people. Okay. I said last night on the call, you are giving resources in your team page, the leadership pages, you're giving the resources to everybody. But where you are putting your energy and where you are working one-on-one with somebody is where the magic happens. Okay. You're not abandoning people, but you're putting your exclusive energy into the people who are going to take that knowledge and those resources and run with it. So when you're identifying leaders, you are going to go on your workstation. You're going to go to the reporting tab. You're going to pull team, or you're going to pull group. It doesn't matter. I say that probably pull team first. It depends on what level you're at. And then you can pull group. Okay. Work with everybody, always work with the one, always work with the people who are wanting it, because you don't know if they're getting the leadership from their sponsor or maybe their director if you have a director underneath you. So you are looking at 3 things, okay? You are looking at high PRV. Why are you looking at high PRV? Because these people are doing the things to get the sales. Sales are the underlying thing in this business. Sales are the foundation. If you do not have a solid sales foundation, you need to make sure you're partying. You need to make sure you're getting Cincy Club subscriptions. You need to make sure you're doing those things for a couple of reasons, right? You need to have the high sales because you need to be able to coach how to get high sales. You need to make sure that you're getting Cincy Club because you need to make sure that you're able to coach on how to get that as well. And if you're not getting sales, you're not expanding your customer base. And when you guys get to come home and do Cincy full time, if that is what your goal is, it becomes really, really important then, because we aren't able to go out into the community as much as we were when we had full-time jobs outside of Cincy. So expanding your customer base is huge. High PRV, you're looking at the people who are recruiting. You're looking at those people who are able to have those conversations and say, you know what, Cincy would bless your life. Have you ever thought about doing what I'm doing? So you're looking at those people. You're looking at people who have high active frontline. Okay, they're working with their frontline. They're doing something right and leading their frontline in order to get at least active. Okay, that might seem very small, but you'd be shook at how many people don't even get active. Okay, so you're identifying, like I said, through Workstation, double click or do a saved report if you have one. High PRV sponsoring active frontline. Okay, and another one that's kind of like an extra sauce, who is barely missing the mark of a promotion. Who has the numbers to possibly hit lead consultant, but they don't have anybody on their team? Who possibly is missing the mark of hitting star consultant, but doesn't have 2 active frontline? Work with those people. If they don't want to work with you, that's okay. But at least give them the opportunity to, hey, did you realize this? It could be a text. I'm a texter. We have access to people's phone numbers on Workstation. Introduce who you are. Hey, girl, this is Amber. I was just pulling reports and I realized how close you are to A, B, C, or D. Do you need some help? I would love to help you get to the next level. That's really also too, Chloe, what helped me kind of get out of my own way is when I focused on, they might not even know it. They might not even know it. We eat, sleep, breathe Cincy, right? Some people who are newer certified consultants, leaders, they might not know. Help them out. We are all in this together and we're better together. Okay. Number 2, when you have identified those people, getting them on a coaching call, a coaching text, we call them action plan calls, action plan texts. Now, what happens here is there's so much power in one, identifying people who are doing the things that are very successful. Okay. It gives them empowerment. It makes them realize that, oh my gosh, I am doing the right things, even if they don't think that they are doing the right things. And all you are doing when you get on the phone with somebody, you're not saying I have the end all be all answers to everything. You're saying, hey, I realize that this is where you are. Would you like to take it to the next level? And I can possibly give you some resources and help you get to that direction. Okay. Because we're nobody special. If you were on the call last night, I said, we are not magical unicorns. We do not have glitter in our veins. Look at both of us right now. Okay. We are nobody special. So when you're getting on those action plans, they can be a call. Calls are scary. A lot of us have switched, me, Chloe, and Katie especially, I think Ray too, have switched to text. That's fine. I am a voice texter. I would much rather text you because then I can do other things while I'm also calling you. I will meet you in person. It doesn't matter. Whatever works for us. But when you're on those action plans, and I'm sure, Chloe, you're going to upload these notes.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to
Okay.
put them in like a drive link, and it'll be on our YouTube channels as well in the description.
Okay, perfect. So Chloe shared when she started the action plans with the 3 legs of success. She shared that. It's a document that you can edit on Canva, whatever. So I went ahead and uploaded into mine. Let's see if this will turn around. You guys will be able to see this is what mine looks like. Okay. I use Calendly to help with people when they're signing up. But what's so magical about an action plan is it allows whoever you are working with, whoever you have identified, to figure out and dig deep, what is it that they're currently doing in their business. Okay. If they are currently doing the activities for PRV, where they are posting on social media and they are not having the 1, 2, or 3 doesn't say anything about having parties. It doesn't say anything about having intentional follow-up conversations. That's where you need to start. Okay. You're not even going to look at the next legs. You're going to look at, okay, PRV is where we're struggling right now because you're kind of just flying by the whim of your pants, really. If you don't have that solid thing, we need to take a step back. Okay. So what it does is it holds them accountable and it lets them see, okay, well, what I think I'm doing in my business, I'm really not doing. Okay. It does that with all the legs, the PRV, the sponsoring, the leading, and then self-care. Okay. Really, really important because like I said, it helps them identify themselves before you even get on the phone with them, what actions they might need to start implementing, what actions they need to focus on, and it helps you see if they are doing the right things. What do we need to tweak a little bit? Okay. Some people I'll get on the phone with and I'm like, PRV is not even a problem. What questions do you have for me about PRV? Okay. And that starts our conversation, but it allows a lot of questions rather than me just being the one talking. It allows questions, the hard questions, the questions that are going to dig up all the right information. Like, okay, well, I see that you're partying. What does that look like for you? What type of parties are you having? Are you teaching your team to do the same thing? Those type of questions. But I highly, highly, highly recommend after you identify those leaders, work one-on-one with them. Okay. Like I said, leadership page, team page, you're giving the resources and the information to everybody. Okay. But not everybody deserves to get that one-on-one with you. And I said this last night, business hours are very important. Please protect your peace, because that's number one important thing in leadership. You don't want to completely, your well needs to stay full. Okay. And you cannot lead effectively if you are dry. So identify those leaders and then set up action plans. For me, I don't work with anybody on my team the first week. And then I do 2 to 4, depending on what my week looks like, week 2, 3, and 4. Week 4 not being very heavy. So 2 and 3 are really the focus on Calendly. Calendly is free if you've never used it before. You know, you can just set up with somebody just via text if you want to. I'm just really, really, it helps me see dates and they can see my availability before we even get on the phone. Okay. And like I said, that action plan is already in this page. I don't know what you named it. You probably just named it action plan. It's in the files.
Yep. Yeah. It's in the files, literally, that y'all can search it too.
Yep.
Yeah, that was so bomb. And I love to, you guys, everything Amber was saying, like, it's easy to hear someone say something that you've never seen do it, but I have watched her do this. Okay. We are not just friends with Cincy. We're actually more friends than Cincy. We don't talk about Cincy a whole lot unless it's that allotted time. So what I can say is everything she just talked about, she's doing. So when you're watching leaders, and I think this is important, I think Ray said this last night, you don't have to, we don't naturally lead the same way. We all lead differently. We all have different values. We have different things we freak out over, different things that matter to us. But one thing that I've seen that's a commonality is that all of us are doing the right IPAs. We're just doing them in a different format, in a different language, because we all have different personalities. So it is really important when y'all are listening to her say identifying leaders. If you are not identifying, because we're going to talk about annual mentor and annual sales. If you are not looking at how far away you are from annual mentor, how far away you are from annual sales, if you're not looking at I just pulled annual mentor, and as soon as I get off of this, I am going to be heavily looking into, okay, what is going on with you guys? Not only because it's the last month to earn annual mentor, but with these people that are over 500, I want them to see, okay, you hit shooting star. I know you've kind of been stuck a little bit. What are some things you're struggling with that I can help you? Okay. That's why this annual mentor tab that I'm going to talk about is beautiful. So number 3, and we will post these notes, like I said, annual mentor and annual sales tracking. I'm going to be honest, and Amber knows the same thing. We were not heavily talking about this until the past year. Okay. We really didn't talk a lot about annual sales. We didn't talk about mentor. Why? I don't really know. I think because it's one of those things where it's like, you should know this, but how can you not know this as a new lead when you've never been trained on it? You've not been exposed on it. There's no pop-up that comes up on your workstation that's like, hey, you're a leader now. You can earn annual mentor. And so now Cincy is starting to implement these trackers right here in your performance tab at the very bottom, to where you can track annual mentor and see your squad underneath you. If you are in the DQ or at director or above, we're working on getting those changed. So leads has access to this as well. And then annual sales, every lead consultant has access to that. All right. So what I want to say about that is you are never going to earn that promotion or get those 2 TME certified or reach your sales goals without a plan. And I say this because when you're at lead consultant to star, and even some superstars, lead to superstar, that danger zone, when you're in that danger zone, it's really easy to keep working it like a hobby. And what you have to do is you have to make a decision. And I think this is very important. And I know Amber went through this. We all went through this as a leader, when we made those team pages, when we started doing those team calls, we decided this is a business. And what I want you guys to understand is we're not just behind videos making pretty content. Obviously, Amber said, I mean, I just worked out. She's having contractions here and there. We are just showing up because we want to give you guys the tools to be successful. Okay. So here's what I want to say about Annual Mentor. You need to stop freaking out about not earning it, and you need to start tracking it now. This is the last month to earn it. Make your spreadsheet, get everybody down. If you don't have access to Annual Mentor because you're not in the DQ or a director, which again, I can't stand that. And I want to make sure y'all have access, because to be honest, I want a lot more lead stars and superstars working to earn this. And you're not earning it because you're not tracking it and you're not being trained on it. It's optional. Your leader is making this optional. And I'm here to tell you, Amber's here to tell you, this does not need to be optional. This needs to be a goal that you strive to earn, not only because you get a commission bonus, $1,000 for sales, $1,000 for mentor, and an additional $25 for every certified that hits leadership, right? But in addition to that, that is showing that you're growing and maintaining a healthy business, okay? And so I just want to just kind of wheel that in y'all's brains, especially for Annual Mentor. If you don't have access to this, it doesn't matter. Don't even use that as a crutch and say you don't have it. You can track it by hand. You can go ahead and look at every single person that has joined since May 1st, 2021 until now, and you can literally see what their lifetime PRV is, okay? So I just think that's really, really important. You need to be tracking this. You need to teach your teams on doing the same thing. You need to make sure that if you are in the DQ or above, this is something, every single action plan I am doing, I am showing them visually when I do them. If it's a text action plan, they're going to get a, oh my gosh, a video recording before, so they know exactly where to find it. And we're going to start right there. We're not even going to go any further until they know this is how you track this. I want you teaching your teams how to track this, A, B, C, and D, because these are systematic behaviors that build great leaders. Okay. Katie Lassner didn't earn Annual Mentor 3 months ago by accident. She earned Annual Mentor 3 months ago because she was tracking it. Okay. So I just think that's really, really important. Make sure y'all are using these reports, guys. And you know, what's unfortunate is, again, I don't like the fact that my leads to SSC don't have access to Annual Mentor, but you know what? Write it on a piece of paper like all of us have been doing for 10 years, okay? Number 4, resources and clear direction and communication with your teams. You guys, this is so important. Amber was a teacher, so if you want to chime into any of this, Amber, you can. But I just think it's really important when someone goes to your team page or your leadership page, do they know exactly what they are offered without their leader telling them? This is important because as your group grows and as your team grows, you cannot touch everybody. And that's a bad habit to have. If you're the leader and you're texting everybody every day in your downline, stop doing that. You're working with the wrong people. You're doing the wrong activities. And at the end of the day, that's not duplicatable. You have to look at what is duplicatable. What can you do to give you more time with your family instead of take away more time with your family? And you know, if you have a team member that is ugly to you because they think, oh, you don't want to work with me, whatever. Well, honey, I'm sorry, but your PRV has literally been $59 the past 2 months, and you put in $500 on the last day of the month to get paid at title, but you want to know why I'm not going to work with you? No, ma'am. So I think it's really important to give that clear direction too. So like Amber said, business hours, that's at the top of our pages. That's in our leadership page. That's in our team page. They know our business hours. They know our availability. Guess what? They know our email. So there's no such thing as a Cincy emergency like Amber and Katie were saying last night. There's just no such thing. And then as far as communication goes, guys, you are leaders. We're going to talk as we get lower. When are you doing leadership meetings? You know, Katie said this last night, and I'm genuinely concerned as to why we don't think when we have one, focusing on the one, why are we not do a FaceTime with them? You could do a FaceTime with multiple people. Do a Zoom. It's free. Zoom is free. Why do we think we need to wait every 3 months for some superstar directors to get on and yell at you guys? That's not a behavior that's going to build you as a leader. You are their leader, not me and Amber. We're up here, we're kind of monitoring like an umbrella, but we're focusing on our team, our frontline, our recruits, our PRV, and our Cincy Club. We are not focused on training your team. You need to be the ones to train your team. And you need to be the ones to give them clear communication, direction, resources. Do they know when your monthly team meetings are? I do team meetings every single month, and I've been doing this 10 years on my team page. Every single month I do one. And Amber will do like in person, and she'll do different things. But do you have anything to add to like the resources and clear direction, Amber, that I missed?
Resources, I'm just going to touch on that a little bit. Some people with learning, some people are visual learners, some people are auditory learners, some people are hands-on learners. So you have to keep that in mind, that just because you can hear something and be able to run with it does not mean that your team can do the same thing. I am very much so a visual learner, and I'm a notes person. So like any trainings I do, anything that I do, like you will see in my face, like if I do not write it down, I do not remember it. And Justin touched on this last night. There's something that triggers in your brain when you can actually take pen to paper, or you can actually visualize something. It stays in your brain. So what you need to remember is that just because something works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for your leadership page. It doesn't mean it's going to work for your team page. So having those resources readily available, meaning you're posting trainings that are really important. You're posting the 3 legs of success. You're constantly sharing resources for them. Okay. That way, hey, I have a question. Hey girl, it's in the page. Use the search tab. Think smarter, not harder. But the reason why we have those pages and we try to drill that into you guys is because it's really important for you not to burn yourself out, but like those resources are there. We pin a lot of stuff that's really important at the top. Like Chloe said, our business hours are all at the top of our team page and our leadership pages. They need to be there. They need to be right in somebody's face. Okay.
Yeah. And also, and I want to say this too, if you're a lead consultant and a star consultant, can you quit waiting on your director to tag you in something, to take your little fingers and beautiful eyes and click the top of our pages? Guys, your sponsor is not your successor. They don't live in your household. They didn't buy your kit. I hope they didn't. If they did, that's out of compliance. But it's up to you to use and utilize these resources. And that's why we've put them there. That's why I put them. Do you want to go ahead and go into number 5, Amber?
Yeah, that's fine. So number 5 is recognition. And Chloe touched on this last night. Recognition, you might be like, oh my God, that's an income producing activity. It 110% is. And I'm going to tell you why in depth. So when you are doing recognition intentionally, okay, right? You're not shouting out, and some people do it in their pages, and that's perfectly fine. Everyone has their own way. But shouting out whenever somebody is active, everybody's active on your team page, is not income producing. Okay. So listen to me when I say this. It's not going to be tangible when you have a team of 150 and more. Okay. So this is what I do. Take it with a grain of salt. If you like it, that's fine. Run with it, make it yours. But there's really, really importance in how you do recognition and how you intentionally and consistently do recognition. Those 10 of you that are watching right now, let me know if you like recognition.
Yeah.
Okay? And Chloe and I have had this conversation before. I think it was last year. I was getting so frustrated because I kept doing the postcard mail outs. And I was like, listen, nobody's telling me they're getting them. I'm not doing them anymore. And she asked me the hard questions. She said, do you like when you get them? Have you always liked when you got them in the mail? And I said, yes. So that changed my mind real quick. Put yourself in their shoes. Okay. Postcards, if you're not there yet, that's fine. Guess what? You can upload it to Canva. You can text it to people. Recognition is free. So couple of things that I do. I recognize, okay, and like I said, take this with a grain of salt. This is what I do personally in my business. I recognize intentionally on the 5th of the month, on the 15th of the month, or wherever that falls in with the halfway point of the month, and at the end of the month, okay? Now, if I have somebody hit certified, if I have a promotion in the middle of the month, if I have shooting star, if I have anything like that, of course I am shouting that out in the team page, probably shouting it out on my story. That's different, okay? But when you are consistently, it's a system, consistently shouting out people for what you want repeated, there's going to be magic in that, okay?
Amen.
How many of you as well, I know a lot of you like recognition. I saw those comments come through. How many of you like whenever you're on the banner of the team page or the leadership page? Chloe, when I first joined, used to do the top 10 or the sweet 16 or whatever of top sales. And I always strived to be in those top 1, 2, 3. I wanted my picture to be on there. I wanted to be recognized because it feels good. Okay. This is not a everybody gets a trophy business. Okay. And I think a lot of times people are like, well, I wasn't recognized for this, or and it's hard for us at the level that we're at to recognize everybody. So that's why I consistently recognize the same things over and over and over. Okay. What do I recognize? Amber, how do you know what to recognize? Okay. 3 legs of success. The 3 legs of success are what I am recognizing. Okay. I am recognizing, are you active? You guys look at your downline. You can see in the reporting tab people who don't even get active. That's fine. Like Chloe said, we need those people on our teams. Are they active? Do they have 500 PRV? Those are leadership minimum numbers. Are they paid at title? Are they recruiting? Okay. So this is what I do in my business. First of all, I asked on my team page, and I highly recommend all of you doing this. I don't care if you have a team 1, team 2, team of 10, 100, whatever. Ask how your team likes to be recognized. I just re-asked my team this the other day. Yeah, I asked them, do you like the emails? Do you like the postcards? Do you like the text messages? And all of them like added at the bottom, all the above. Everybody likes to be recognized. Everybody likes to be seen. But what you really need to realize is that you do not need to be recognizing every little thing. Every little thing does not need to be recognized, and you'll bury yourself and you'll quit this business if you do that. So,
well, and then Amber, it creates this expectation from team members. So when you don't recognize them because they had $100 order, or like some people recognize for just thanks. And I get y'all are excited, and I'm going to use Serena because she's the perfect overworker in this. I had to tell her very early on, like, look, you cannot do what you're doing with 100 people, with 200 people. Now she's over 100. And it's like a lot of times we have to learn by getting overwhelmed, but what we really want to help you guys do is build a business without being as overwhelmed as we were at one point, because we just kept saying yes. And we kept being like, oh, I feel so bad. Stop feeling bad. It's not your job to it's not your job to carry all that burden. It's your job to know the way, go the way, and show the way, like Orville's always said.
Right. So yeah, so when I do shout outs, okay, so like I said, the 5th, 15th end of the month, I do as follows. Active, I send emails, okay? I also shout it out in my group, or my team page, my team and my leadership page. I do active and 500 PRV on the 5th, okay? Why? It not only recognizes the people who are working very hard in the first 5 days, but it shows that that's what they should be striving for, okay? The 15th, active 500 PRV and paid at title. Emails and shout outs on team and leadership page. End of month, I'm doing active 500 PRV, top sales team and group, paid at title, and who recruited, who blessed lives. Okay. Those are the income producing activities that I do in my business that I teach my team and my leaders to do. So that is what I recognize. That is where the magic happens in this business when you're doing those things. Okay. And it might seem very simple. It might seem like it's kind of pushing them too hard, but in my mind, active is a very bare minimum. 500 PRV is a very bare minimum for leaders. Okay. So when you recognize that those minimum requirements are met, it's huge, because the ones who are not doing it are more than likely going to be like, oh my gosh, well, what are they doing? And then what I know Chloe and I both do, and a lot of the other SSDs do, can you share what you're doing? Hey, and if you're on my team and leadership page, you see all the time when I'm shouting people out, if you're on this list, please share below in the comments what it is that you're doing to make this month successful already. On the 5th, I did that, or yesterday, I can't remember which day. But recognition, like Chloe said, when you do it consistently and intentionally, and if you need to write it down on a sticky note, guys, I still have a sticky note over here that I'm afraid to take down because I'm scared that when I look over and it's the 5th, 15th, or end of the month, I'm scared I'm going to forget if I don't have this sticky note there, even though I have it literally everywhere, my daily habits. Okay. So that is definitely income producing. Banners on your team page, create FOMO. People want to be recognized. People want to be on those lists. They might need a little bit of help. They might be those people that you worked with that month, but when they get on that list, guys, I have so many frontline and so many team members that are like, it's my goal to be in the top 10 of sales. Okay. They have that envision in their head, but guess what? If you're not consistently recognizing it, and then they're like, oh, well, the banner's not even updated from January. It's free recognition. Do it on Canva. It takes some time. Have the same banner. Okay. I literally just change the text, change the background, make it look a little different, but you are in control of that recognition. Cincy does a fantastic job of recognition, but you are the one that is in control of doing that, and teach your downline to do the same thing.
Yes, that's key. Teaching them to do the same thing. And even with the emails, guys, I started with emails probably 3 years ago. Okay. And that was just like a random. I don't even know, Amber, if you remember when I first started sending them, they were terrible. Like it was just, I was just like, let's try this, because why? I can hit a lot of people in a short amount of time. Social media is big. They can screenshot that. That's a form of recognition, guys. And it's free. And I can tell you, I mean, I didn't get emails back in the beginning of people saying, oh, I'm so excited, thank you. Like, I didn't hear nothing. It was crickets. But then I would do polls and I would ask you guys, what do you want? So that clear communication, going back to number 4, is so key, because I promise you, it will pay off. But you've got to be consistent. You know, a lot of you guys are doing things for 1 month or 2 months. Oh, you hit director because last month, or you hit this goal last month because of the sales. But what are your parties looking like this month? It's just really important to keep that consistent.
It is. Okay.
So, number 6.
Am I doing 6 or are you doing 6?
I'll do 6. Well, this will be quick. So 6 is all about being duplicatable and replicatable, you guys. So doing things now in your business. And again, a lot of my frontline that I work with, I tell them this when they're stars. Do you have a YouTube channel yet? Oh, I'm so scared. Well, how are you training these 12 recruits you got this month? How are you doing all of this? Oh, I'm just on my phone all day. No, that is not why you're doing Cincy. You are not doing Cincy so you can be a slave to your phone and so you can train people over and over and over and over and over again the same content. That is the definition of insanity. So I want to encourage every one of y'all. I don't care if you're a lead consultant. You need to start a YouTube channel for pure training information, okay? This is very important because your team needs to be looking at your face whenever they are getting trained. They don't need to be looking at Amber's videos, and they don't need to be looking at mine. Now, I know you guys may say, oh, I just hit lead, I have a job to do this. Stop. We all had a job. Me and Amber worked full-time jobs. Stop. You can do a video in your car. You can do it on your phone and upload it in the parking lot directly to YouTube before you walk into work. That's what I did as a nurse. This is key, guys. You need to start with a basic training. Welcome to our team. This is what we do. We earn shooting star. We get certified. We do home launch parties. This is what we do. First things first checklist. You need to start creating content that your team needs. That's IPA content. This is key. This is the IPA training. Okay? Stop doing fluff, coffee and talkies. That doesn't put dollars in the bank. What's going to put dollars in the bank is doing replicatable and duplicatable trainings. That is why I tell you guys to create YouTube channels. Who cares what you look like? Who cares if people are going to think you look crazy? They don't pay your bills. What's important is that you keep your sanity and you're not repeating the wheel. This training now is going to be here, and me and Amber are literally probably going to send this to all of our leads. Once this is on YouTube, we're going to email them. We're going to give this to them. We're going to give them this tool. Why? Our job, your job, is to put resources in front of your team so they can give it to their team. Okay? When you just talk and you don't have it recorded and you don't have it filed, it's telephone. Then you just expect that team member to tell their team member the exact same thing. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to tell them any of that because they're not even confident in themselves as a leader yet. Does this make sense? So I'm telling you guys, stop being scared of YouTube. This is a training tool. This is a training tool. And your team needs to see you. They need to see you. And guess what? Why are y'all doing lives on your team page when you're not saving them from your desktop and uploading them to YouTube? That is a waste of your time. Because then you're going to go, oh, crap, I need to do another training. No, you don't. Just pull the training that you did a year ago on the same exact thing. You don't need to repeat the wheel. All you need to do when you look at trainings is you need to look at, okay, am I evolving? And if your business is evolving, you need to, train around that. And that's literally what we do. And I heard a lot of people in here, you've been commenting, I had all these parties, I have this, I have that. Well, where's your videos and where's your trainings on how you did that? I don't see them on this page. I don't see them on y'all's team pages. So this is very important to understand too. And a lot of people were in the chat last night, and Katie touched on this, and they were saying all these things that they've done different to promote, all these things, but we don't see this on the leadership pages. It does not help you when you just shout yourself out. What is going to help your team is when you get on these leadership platforms and you train people how you did it so they can do the same. This is not a take. That is not leadership. Leadership is servanthood. It's very important that you guys are helping create, again, duplicatable ways to train. In every training done in the leadership and team pages, like I said, it needs to be saved on a desktop and uploaded to YouTube. Done. Number 7, leadership community. Amber, do you want to touch on that? Or you want me to hit that?
I want you to hit it because I don't really know what you meant by it. That's why I didn't add it.
So, people are not joining Cincy. They're joining you. They're joining something they see in you that they want to be a part of because they've seen you consistently doing this. They believe you and they start to trust you. This is my biggest thing. A leader or a team member will never, ever, 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 ever listen to what you have to say if all you do is get on your team page at the end of the month and you say, we're this close to getting paid at title. Stop doing that. It's not cute. What you need to focus on is high sales, sponsoring 2 a month and getting them to certified and teaching people how to become lead star and superstar underneath you, especially if you're a director, okay? The community, you need to build a community that people don't want to leave. I firmly believe that anchored in our other leadership pages we are all building communities that you guys don't want to leave, which is why when we made requirements in January and said, hey, y'all need to step up. This isn't my page. This is y'all's page. Y'all started freaking out a little bit. Why? Because you realize that this isn't a take community. This is a share community. We're in a community. And this is very important too, because when you create a stable community, a community to where people can come onto this leadership page, they know what they're going to get. They know that they can trust the content they're going to get. They know that we're not feeding them a bunch of BS because we literally aren't sharing any substance. We're just copying, pasting crap off Pinterest or whatever. They're not going to believe that and they're not going to respond to that. What they're going to believe and respond to is looking at, hey, this is how I upped my club. I started sharing Cincy Club with y'all 3 years ago, almost 3 years. Now, finally, y'all are catching on. Why? The community we have. Y'all believe me. Y'all believe Amber. Y'all believe Katie. Y'all believe these people that are coming in here and saying, hey, this is what I did to grow club and it's freed up my leadership time, right? And so I think the key to the community is you guys need to realize your presence matters. Stop being an absent leader. If you don't have a team page and you're a star consultant, I don't really know what to say. You're not going to build a big business by using a DM group chat. That is not it. And people can get mad at me. I don't care. I think a Facebook group chat is ridiculous for your team. And I know tons of my leaders had one and they know how I feel about it. But that's not going to create a community where they can find clear resources at the top, where they can go to the files, where you can go live. You can't do that in Messenger. Okay.
And stuff gets lost, y'all. Lost. Think about this. My people know the same thing. I had a director chat, guys. Literally, I deleted it 2 months ago because I was getting so frustrated that it was me and maybe 3 other directors in my lineage that were showing up, sharing anything. And 2, the notifications were driving us all insane. Think about that. With Facebook groups, okay? I'm not saying that Facebook is the end all be all, but there is a reason behind a team page and a leadership page. The resources can stay there. You cannot share resources, or if you do a link, it's lost. Think about iPhones now, guys. We can only go so far back. And then we're having to ask, can you send that again? Because I can't scroll that far back. Okay. There's a reason when you get so big, which you are going to do, the 10 of you who have been on here consistently listening to us, when you get to that level, you're not going to be able to manage a team chat. Okay. No. Maybe you're going to minimize it and do like what we do with our, accountability in our group with just a couple of us in it. That's different. Okay. with your team, you need to have a Facebook page. With your leaders, anchored in, if you're in my lineage, leaders in Feet to Faith. Okay? Sorry,
Yep.
I just have to say that.
Before we move to 8, I know Serena does this, or I've told her to do this. When you're at a point, when you have leads under you, stars under you, superstar consultants, go ahead, create a chat for leadership. I'm fine with that. Create a leadership one or a group like Amber said. I know her and Ray and Katie will do these accountability groups. That's different. That's great. You know what that's doing? That's gearing you up to an actual leadership page, which I want you guys to all have once you get to a certain point. You know why? They're your leaders. They're not mine. And they need to learn from you. Quit tagging them in our stuff. You know what I mean? They're your people. So yeah. So number 8, leadership Zooms, plan lives, monthly scheduled, announce. This creates accountability early on with your future leader and instills good habits. I don't even think we need to go into that. Amber, is there any, like, guys, if you are not training your teams and you are not training people, what are you doing as a leader? I really want to know. I really want to know why you're confused as to why people aren't returning your text, or as to why, you know, when I first started doing my first calls, I had one person on, and it was a phone. It was 1-800 conference call. Okay. That, like, yeah, we didn't have Zoom. And I just continued it every month. There's power in consistency. There is power in showing up, guys. Yes, you may be talking to yourself the first 3 months, but guess what? It will build and it will grow, but they need to see your face. Okay. It really hurts me when I see these people promoted these big promotions and I've never even seen one of your trainings on here ever. I'm like, oh, they're a director? I ain't never seen them share nothing. You know, it's not cute. And you need to remember that your teams are looking at that. They're looking at your absence. They're looking, like, I don't care. I'm sorry. Like, we're all busy and we all have stuff going on. I am sorry, but that is not what we do in this group. We talk about how to succeed. We don't talk about our barriers. We talk about how to overcome them and how to be successful. So yeah, the Zooms, the monthly lives, all of your top leaders that you're going to see within our culture, we all do this. This is something we all do. And upload it to YouTube.
Yes.
All right, number 9 and number 10. Do you want to hit on those, Amber?
Yeah, let me back up real quick and let me just share with you guys.
Yeah.
When Chloe says one person showed up, when I did my very first team meeting, I did them monthly in person. I did it at a coffee shop that is local in Wilmington. I had one person show up. It was my best friend that I grew up with, and I think she felt bad for me. One person show up, and I have always had notes like this. Okay. The next month, it was at my parents' house. I had to move back in with my parents. She showed up and she brought a front line because, again, I think she felt bad for me. But guess what? I didn't stop doing. I didn't stop showing up, and those expanded to, I mean, we had like 10 to 20 people before COVID happened. And that shows me, guys, look, how many people are on this Anchored In page right now? There's 10 watching. I know people have to work right now. So you guys are, you know, not working your full-time jobs, but show up for the one. It does not matter. It does not matter if you are just talking to yourself, like Chloe said. Still show up because your team is watching you. If they don't trust you, they are not going to listen to you. They're not going to show up. They're not going to share anything. And I'm going to tell you what they're doing, because this happens to both of us. They're going to say, sponsor, F you, and they're going to go up in their lineage. Or they might not do that, and they might leave Cincy altogether because they don't feel like they're in a community. They don't feel like they're loved, and they don't feel like they're special. They don't feel like they're seen. Show up for the one. I don't care if you get on Facebook Live and there's nobody there. I don't care. If you're in your team page and nobody's there, guys, I might do this today. I might add it to my list. If Facebook will let me go on my Facebook and go as far back as when I started my team page, and show you guys how many people weren't on my lives, and I still did it. It does not matter. You don't have to have it all figured out. Still show up.
And too, because this is perfect for going into mini habits. I also feel like, I've never thought about this till just now, but you're actually training your brain into consistently doing that habit over and over. Just like emails, just like recognition postcards, just like parties. You're training your brain on how to run an actual business. So yeah, is there mini habits? We've talked a lot about mini habits, y'all, but
mini habits, I can talk about this because I think this is shared in leaders or in Anchor.M.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Mini habits, okay? Monday through Friday, what I do to run a successful business. Chloe has something very similar behind her. We work similarly, but we do not work the same. What works for, some of us isn't going to work for the others, but I'm going to repeat this again because it's very important. What does not change between all of us is the income producing activities that we do consistently, okay? Monday through Friday, yes, I work Cincy full time now, but I also, yes, Serena, I can reshare it. I think I shared it at the World Tour thing, but I don't know if I shared it in.
It's in the World Tour files, y'all. So if y'all go
Okay, so it's in the QR code.
And you click on the new leadership resources for Build, Amber has it right there. And my list is the exact same days. I do the exact.
Yes. But this is the many habits. This is what has trained us into, okay, well, hey, look, this is what I do every single day. I know that Tuesdays and Thursdays are my team days. These are my live days. These are when I pull reports. And I can say this off the top of my head. I don't have this on my wall. Yes, I laminated it, but it won't stay on the wall. So there we are. So as I need to add stuff, I do. But I have on here Friday, my recognition emails. Okay. The 5th, 15th end of month that I told you guys about is in here. That's what I do when I clean up and I catch up on whatever I'm doing. This is something I implemented too, and I would highly recommend this. I got this, Katie Lassiter does this, and we share within our community. Monday tip emails and customer emails on Saturdays, okay? The Monday tip emails only go to my team. If there are directors underneath me, they do not go to their team. Why? I want them to do it, okay? Monday tip emails, meaning on my Fridays, I am not typing this up on a Saturday unless my pregnancy brain forgets. I'm going onto Workstation. I'm looking at the news tab. I'm seeing what is important that is coming up. A lot of times, especially right now, my team is not getting notifications because I am in Facebook restriction, okay? If I'm sending an email, they're also getting that information in one thing. Something I also include, it does not have to be a training for me, but something that I really want them to focus on, I will put a training in there. I will put resources in there for them, and they really like it, okay? So if you haven't started doing that, it's not too soon to do that. I literally just started doing that. Katie's team loved it, so I figured let me start trying to do it, and they really like it, okay? So that's something that I do on Fridays. I go in a Google Doc so that I can add images to where I can literally copy and paste right into my workstation when I do an email. Boom, done. Customer email as well. Yes, I posted my VIP page. We all run things differently. Chloe doesn't have a VIP page. You see, different stuff works for different people. I polled my VIPs on what they like, okay? But I also send them emails. I let them know what's coming. So what am I going to be doing tomorrow? Maybe today. I don't really know. It's kind of, you fluctuate with what you want to do, but you really have your days. Customer emails. I'm seeing, okay, what's coming Monday, guys? The rainbow collection. Hello. If you did your due diligence, you sampled that out because we had early access to it. You are going to follow up with who you sent it to because you need to have a system. That's another IPA. You have a system. You have written down a whole list of who you sent it to. Stamps.com. That's how I follow up. I know it was delivered today, actually yesterday. So what am I doing today? I am following up with every single person. A lot of them have clubs. So some that I've already talked to, they said they're putting it in club. If not, I'm putting in an order for them on Monday. Okay. So my customer email, I'm hitting that really hard again. That collection is phenomenal, you guys. Tax write-off. And then I also look at the news tab. What else is coming Monday? Do they want me to snag it for them? I don't know. And they don't know if they don't know that it's coming. Okay. So that's something I do with mini habits too, that I've created for my team and for my customers, because I feel like that extra step of communication is really kind of key for them, because some people don't check Facebook as much as others. And even if we can say, please turn your notifications on, till we're blue in the face, they're not going to have their notifications on.
And
but yeah,
I'm going to say to you, I'm going to stop you guys. It's okay if you feel like, so I'm going to be honest, like y'all know I don't consistently send team emails. Okay. I don't do that. I'm not good at it. That's not a habit I'm good at. But I'm already thinking in my mind, because again, we're always learning. We're always evolving. Amber and Katie are both under me. Okay. So I could easily lie and be like, oh yeah, love that. I'm good at that. I'm not good at that. But you know what? I want to be. So my brain is already thinking, okay, well, what can Chloe do to make this work? Because I'm not a typer. Amber and Katie are much teacher brains. They can type all day long. I get kind of frazzled sometimes. So you have to look at these things when you're hearing these tips and go, okay, how can I make it me? And how can I start that? Because it's working. These are top producers. It's working for them. So what can I do to create that system? That's what it's all about. So good.
Yeah. And let me just go back. If you guys don't have a Gmail account, please create a Gmail account. It is free. This is income producing in itself. Gmail has for you. I'm gonna turn this around so I can show you guys. This is an extra little tidbit that you guys don't see how many unread stuff I have. You can go here. Drive is your best friend. Okay.
All trainings
are everything I have in here. Okay. It is all there. But what's awesome, new Google Doc. This is how I type up my emails. Okay. My team ones, I do have a document already there, like a template, but you type and then literally drag in pictures. This is the only way you can have embedded pictures sent in a workstation email. Okay. Copy and paste, send. It's your best friend. It saves automatically. You don't have to have Microsoft Word. If you're working from your phone, there's an app for that. Okay. I just challenge you. Don't have a Gmail. Get it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's free. It's wonderful. You can organize it. Even when I was a teacher, I mean, I used it somewhat, but not as much as Sensi. It just makes sense. You can just do so much with it. Okay. What's the last thing?
The last thing, yeah, which we've already kind of touched on, the 3 legs of success. And I think just the important part, you guys, and you know, Katie was kind of talking about this last night, and me and her talk about this a lot. You've got to teach your teams how you're being successful. I don't care how many parties you have booked. I don't care if it's 50. Have you taught your teams to do the same? And have you taught them exactly what you're doing? I don't care if you're a Facebook VIP page boss. Why is it not on the leadership page? Why don't we know what your stuff is? Why do y'all continue to be numbers 1 through 3 in sales every month? Yet we have no training content from y'all. And it's not being selfish, but it's like, guys, you've got to share how you're being successful so other people can do it. I think that's really, and that's why we're up here right now. Guys, we didn't make an outline because we're bored and we don't have nothing to do. Believe it or not, we got stuff going on. Amber is about to have a baby in a few weeks, okay? So we are doing this because we know that you guys need these tools so your brain can get going. But our prayer and our hope is that you guys take this information, you evolve, you make it your own, and then you share it on your team page first. That's our challenge for you. If you're a star consultant, team page, your first live video on your team page that you're going to upload to your YouTube channel needs to be on how you are strong in your sales, how you are booking parties, okay? It's so important because nothing bothers me more than when I see people with all these pretty flyers and all these pretty things and blah, 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 and you're just not sharing a thing. It's selfish. I don't like it. It's not the vibe.
And there's nothing wrong with kind of bouncing off of that, because Canva is hard to navigate if you haven't discovered what your own business like model is, or your like how you make stuff look. I just now got comfortable with working on Canva a couple of months ago. Okay. Work with Canva and make stuff your own. Okay. But yeah, if you're creating something that is phenomenal, share it. That's how I'm working Anchored Sense pages for. I shared yesterday, I don't know if people saw it because again, I'm restricted. I shared a club flyer that I made, one that I was literally, we were collaborating, coming up with an email, and I realized that I didn't have one that looked like me. Yes, I had access to one, but it didn't look like me. Okay. Don't be afraid to share stuff. Don't be afraid to be like, oh, I don't, this isn't the best thing in the world. Who cares? If you're using it, if it's working, if it's labels that other people can use, if it's trainings that you're doing for your team page that you can upload to YouTube and then share it. There is no bad idea that is shared. There is no bad resource that is shared. Okay. And in turn, like we've been saying this whole time, it helps you evolve as a leader. It helps you get out of your comfort zone and realize that what you're doing in your business is working and it matters. It does not have to be a carbon copy of what we do. It does not have to be a carbon copy of any other leader. And really, you want to be an authentic leader. Your team can see through that. If I came on here all dolled up right now, that's not me being authentic. Y'all have a belly band. You can't see around the belly. Okay. I'm not kidding when Chloe asked me 20 minutes before we got on this if I wanted to do this with her and look at the outline and add stuff. That's real. That is real and raw. Okay. Be authentic and share things. You have so much value to share. Share it with your teams. They want to see what you're doing. They don't, I mean, they might know our names, but they want to see what you're doing because they joined you. They did not join us. If they joined us, then they would be, they'd be in our front line. They joined you for a reason. Show up for them. Do the hard things for them. Be consistent in these IPAs and watch your business blossom.
Woo! Love you guys. We will put these on both of our channels and get them uploaded to both the pages. Amber, thank you so much. I love you.
Absolutely. Love you.
Love y'all.